Yeah, I have a whole hole. A whole hole.
Sunday wind down, Ida with the voice on the speaker, Sunny on the mic and it's all round. Conversations are bigger, so fill my cup, fill my cup. I'm already tuned in all the way up, all the way up. Can't stop listening now.
Hi, you guys. Welcome to the Sunday Wind Down podcast. I'm your girl, Idah Alicia.
And I am DJ Sunny.
Welcome.
Sistuki.
Yes, he's known as Sistuki. Huh? Bado Stuki.
Bado
Still the
Sistuki.
same guy, huh?
Still the same guy.
Cool beans.
Yep.
What have you been up to, Sunny? How has your week been? I haven't seen you actually most of this week, Cindy.
This week has been pretty chill.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Any fun events, anything big or anything we should be looking out to?
I had
forward
an
to?
event coming up this Friday.
Oh, nice.
But the club got burnt.
Oh, shit. Sorry. So, yeah, sorry. Oh, my God. That is sad news.
Yeah, so it's been rescheduled to another date in May.
Okay, cool.
Like, I wish I could build a time machine and be able to go forward in time and be able to see what is going to happen so that if I know this club is going to get burnt, then I know before time.
So would you have warned them? Would you be like, oh, by the way, this day your club is like, would you have?
No, I would have just said I'm not available on that day.
Yo, see, that's why God did not give you that power. Now, let me ask you this: if you were given the power to go forward, of course, like you just said, or backwards in life, what would you do?
I think
Like, if you let me actually paraphrase that: if you had the power to go back, but live life just as you have been living it,
so.
but
Go back in time with the same knowledge I have
redoing it
today.
with the same knowledge.
In other words, what would I tell my younger self?
Yeah, what would
Maybe.
you? Yeah,
Huh.
because like,
First things first, I would definitely think of money-wise.
Okay.
How to like give myself an upper hand. I'm a DJ.
Okay.
And being in the career field that I am today, I feel like one of the things I would probably go back and tell my younger self is the world is a very big place.
right? Yeah, that's a good lesson.
You know, because I feel like growing up sometimes we get too attached to our little culture, our little corner, our
That's
little
true. When you say
thing.
like that, yeah, in retrospect, you look back and you're
You
like,
know?
damn, I can't believe I didn't want to let go of this little thing.
Yeah.
Not knowing there's just so much
Like
more
I
out
remember
there.
when I left, when I was growing up, like I thought there was no better place in this world than Eldoret.
Yo. Ta Nairobi huko umefika.
Nairobi I used to go, but then I just loved LD.
Well, that's good.
You know?
That's good, yeah.
And then when I moved to the US, I just felt like I had to hold on so tight to my Kenyan identity.
I see.
And that I think worked a little bit to my disadvantage.
Okay. I do have a point on that. I still feel like I live very much in my Kenyan identity at this point.
As I was growing as a DJ, I felt like I was trying too hard to only think of entertainment and my audience as a Kenyan audience.
I see.
Even when my audience was not Kenyan, I was too focused on my Kenyan ways.
You're still
and
trying
my
to
Kenyan
feed them
audience.
Kenyan content. Like,
Yes.
you're not Kenyan, but I'm going to introduce this to... Okay,
Which
I
is a good thing to
see.
do if you want to, to grow the music and all that stuff.
Right.
For example,
Right.
if I showed up to an event and it was a non-Kenyan event and they were not playing Kenyan music, say they were playing country music,
Okay.
I would stop appreciating.
Oh, I see.
I would shut
You're
down
checked
and I
out.
would say, this is not my thing. And that's fine. Everyone does that. But when that is the path that you want to choose for what you're going to do
Yeah,
in
you
life,
may need to be a little more
then
flexible.
you want to be a little more flexible.
Yeah.
Last night I went to a reggae event and I was genuinely watching people really enjoy themselves and dancing and dancing to dancehall music and all
That's
that.
good.
And I was watching them and I felt like, wow, like I was really appreciating the dances, the culture.
Right.
Whereas before I would be comparing it to my Kenyan.
You'd be like,
the
yeah,
Kenyan part of things. In Kenya we do it like this. Why are they doing it like this?
I see.
And I always
That's
thought the Kenyan way was the superior way of doing things.
Well, I mean, it makes sense because, I mean, you were born and raised in Kenya. That's all
Right.
you knew. I understand that fact. But I also still feel like I still highly, highly live in my Kenyan self. I mean, we've been here a few years now. I personally have been here 8, almost 9 years. But that's almost a decade. But I still feel like there's things that I do that I want to be identified as a Kenyan before anybody says, oh, there's a black girl. I need them to say there's a Kenyan girl. I mean, I say this to say, like, look at my phone cover.
Yeah.
If you're just listening to this, my phone cover is from afritechzone.com. That's AFRITK.
TEK.
Yeah, we shall just write it. I gave up. But yeah, my phone, my armband, like my wristband, like literally, I scream Kenya everywhere I go. One of my friends said the only thing you haven't put is a tattoo that says Kenya on your forehead.
Yeah.
And I feel like also I would still appreciate that part. Like,
Yeah.
me personally, I want to live in that.
And that's okay. So my point is not to stop identifying as
Right. No, I get
and
it.
stop being proud.
Yes.
But more so to work on appreciating the non-Kenyan.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I think if I was to tell my younger self, as you grow up, yes, hold on to your Kenyan identity,
Yeah.
hold on to those roots, hold
Yeah.
on to that. However, when you meet someone who is not Kenyan,
Be open enough.
be open to
learn
appreciating
even.
and learning that culture.
That's actually a
And
good
we
point.
think we're doing that. We think when we travel, we're doing that. We think we're doing that. But are we really, like, deep inside, are we really going to be somewhere and be so present in that moment and just absorb the whole experience?
Yeah,
of a
Ama, you're
different
just
culture?
waiting, like, this
Ama, you're
DJ is
just
not playing
waiting now.
Afrobeats.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a challenge. Not
Yeah.
only a lesson, but a challenge.
So that's something I would go back and do.
Right. I don't know what I would tell my younger self in terms of, like, we spoke about money. You said financially. I'm like, I don't know. I probably would. I have personally, I can say that I think I'm good with money. My relationship with money has been good. I've never gotten myself to a point where I have like debt I can't take care of. I live within my means. I try to. Sometimes you'll get that sudden rush of, oh my God, I want this vehicle. And you're not there yet. I'm not saying I don't crave for bigger things, but I try to live within my means. So dear younger me, I probably would teach them how to save sooner.
Yeah.
I got to a point in life where when I was writing for TV and I acted in the show as well, I was making good money. But did I know what to do with it? I just knew, oh, you want a new car? Okay, I got you. No, not technically car,
Yeah.
but like I would live in the present because I knew, see, tomorrow I'm going to work.
Yeah,
I'll make some more.
you'll make some
but
more.
I never had the mindset of, what if you don't work for the next 6 months? What if, I
Yeah.
lived for the moment. So probably that's one thing I would change. I would tell myself, let's save. Like stretch that money a little bit longer than I did when I was younger.
True.
Yeah, I feel like that. But I don't know. And also maybe I would teach myself how to be more healthy. I see people now in their teenage, and I have one of my nieces, her name is Harriet. She does CrossFit and she's only 18. And I'm like, damn, do you know what you're doing for your body? You're teaching your body how to like just obey you in whatever point in life you're at. Like you're literally at 18. I didn't know how to work out. Girl, I ate everything and everything. And me personally, I was one of those skinny girls. So I didn't think that at some point my metabolism was going to slow or whatever. Like I was not mentally prepared that way. So I see that and I admire that at such a young age, you're able to like, okay, this is what I'm doing. And you have a goal, which is kind of cool.
And that's, speaking of health, I would have probably not started drinking at such a young age.
Yeah. I mean, Sunny 12 is very young. No, I'm kidding. I know you didn't
I
start
think
at
it was
12.
probably around 12, 13,
Oh,
maybe around
shoot.
13.
I
right?
didn't have a drink until I was 18.
Well, good for you.
Praise the Lord.
There's that, and then at a very young age, just I guess due to peer pressure and stuff, I would smoke.
Oh, yeah.
Because I used to be a smoker. I quit smoking almost 12 years ago.
Okay.
And the reason why I did those things, really, if I think about it now, was not because I was getting any joy out of it.
Because your friends were doing them?
Because my friends were doing them, and I wanted to look cool for my friends.
I see. Yeah.
So in retrospect, one of the main lessons there would be, forget looking cool for people.
Yeah, just do
Just
you.
do you.
Do you, boo-boo.
Yeah.
Do you.
And being not being the chat box.
Yo, don't even go back there.
And being content with who you are and how
Right.
you are.
Yeah.
Is what like I would have probably tried to tell my younger self.
I like that. And also, I don't think we had a culture of going into hospital and getting your annual checkups. It's not, growing up now we know, and probably I would pass that down to my kids, but in retrospect, yeah, it's not like I have any health issues. It's just the what do you call it? The practice.
Yeah.
Is
Speaking
good.
of health issues, I remember when I first went to a dentist when I came to the US. I think it's the first time I went to a dentist.
Yeah, for like
Just
forever?
Forever.
Oh wow.
I had
Me,
never
I'd been
been
to a dentist to like get my teeth removed.
Oh, lucky you. I had never been to
Was
a
I
dentist.
lucky? I have a whole hole. A whole hole. Yeah, I need. Anyway, let's move forward.
Is it possible to have half a hole?
You should ask the dentist that you didn't visit.
So when I went for the first time to see a dentist, I think I was 19.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And this dentist looked in my mouth and literally asked me, when's the last time you ever went to a dentist? And
For
I
real?
said, never. And he was in shock.
Yeah.
But then
be more
some of
careful
those
there.
things are not like in your control when you're
Right.
a teenager or a young child. 'Cause
Let me tell you what's in your control, though. Your relationships, may it be romantic relationships or work relationships, or just even how you talk to people. I feel like that was a lot in our control.
Yeah.
What did you do with your child, like with growing up? What did you do with your friendships, and like how did you approach that you feel like you do
Man,
different?
I think about friendships, and I really think I wasted a lot of time on
Really?
friendships. Now, there are some friendships that I feel like I still value till today. There are
Right.
some friends I have from high school, let's
Right.
say,
Yeah,
that
and you
I
still
still
kick it.
connect with,
Right.
like. But then I have some friends from high school now, and I think to myself how much time I spent with them.
Right.
And I'm like,
You're not
yo,
aligned.
Yeah, we're not aligned.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
even post high school, now college, that's when I wasted like in my
Yeah.
20s, let me tell you, I wasted so much time. And that's when I had started DJing a lot, and I was doing clubs, and I was
Right.
becoming popular like in the local small car community.
Right.
Like if I did a party and I got 200 people at the party,
You're like,
I
I'm the
thought
man.
I had 200 friends.
That's a very flawed way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like
Oh, wow.
it got to me thinking like, oh, all these people are my friends. And I got a really harsh reality coming to me that, yo,
Yeah.
you have your friends are a really small circle.
Right.
And
It's
all
like-
these people are not your friends.
Literally, somebody said this, and I read it somewhere. They said you have X amount of Facebook friends, right? You remember when Facebook was the thing? Growing up, yeah, Facebook was our Instagram. I feel like us. Well, when I
Growing
say
up, I
growing
didn't
up,
have Facebook.
no. Actually, when I say growing up, I mean 10 years ago. I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
it's not technically like growing up from back in the day, but when we're in high school, when I was in high school, Facebook was starting to become popular. So you would think, oh my God, I made 250 friends on Facebook, and you would imagine yourself, oh, I'm so popular, I got this many friends. But like, who would you call if you needed somebody to help you? Maybe you don't have money for rent. In those 250 people, you would sift through the list and be like, man, I don't think I can call anybody here. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that has been a lesson for me. I also, based on the work that I did, just because I became a little popular when I was much, much younger, I also had that mentality. Because we hang out, we're friends. But it's really not true.
Right.
But me personally, the way I view friendship, I give. I feel like that's the only, like in a friendship, there's nothing I really can offer you. It's just me being present, or me being supportive in your journey in life. I feel like that's the essence of friendship.
Right.
Right now, where I'm standing, we might have this podcast 10 years from now and be like, you remember when we said that would change, maybe?
Right.
But that's how I approach friendship. It's not really what you can do for me. I want to be present in your life. What can I do for you to make yours better or easier, right? And that was who I was back in the day. But then like you start looking around, you're like, hey, how comes when you guys have something to do in your family, I'm always present? When I have something that's just one off, maybe I just need somebody to help me move, there's nobody. And I'm like, yo, how are y'all busy when I need you?
Right.
And so I had to sit back and like, we're not friends really. You using me, It's a harsh reality, but growing up, I know I made those mistakes. I made friends who would call me when it's time to drink,
Yeah.
They'll call me if they need help moving. They'll know I'll be there. But then when it's my turn, you're looking back, you're like, Kwani, everybody's busy today. And you know what? I did make excuses for people.
Yeah.
That's probably something else I would put a pin on if I were to go back in time. I'd be like, don't make excuses. Just, if somebody shows you who they are, just that's who
Take
they
them
are.
for who they are. Yeah.
You know how you're like, maybe they had a bad day and I just needed so much support. It's actually, no. Then they don't have that kind of time for you, and period.
Yeah.
It's the harsh reality. So I feel like friendship-wise, I would do that. Relationship-wise, God damn it. I got married at 21. If you don't know, go ahead and read my story. It's one thing I would not advise. 21. I mean, look at, okay, so quick little background. I didn't date much. I was just a church kid, and I did a lot of cantata.
You were a
and
church kid?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. I didn't drink until 18. You know what I'm saying? Like, I spent a lot of my I
I've
think
heard
I'm
it's
doing
the-
a lot of catching up with all this drinking I'm doing now.
I've heard it's the church ones that go crazy.
Apparently, I mean, look at me now.
I mean, I'm not saying you've gone crazy, but
No, but like what I'm saying is I spent a lot of time just being present and just spending time in church and And I think how they teach us, and this should change if it hasn't already where you're from, but growing up, it was you go to school, you finish, you either get into college, graduate. If you're a woman, get married and have children. That was the path. That was the one that was cleared for us. Anything else, you had to go clear for yourself and find out. So me at 21, I was like, okay, cool. See, I finished school and I don't want to have sex before marriage. So see, the next path is
Now get
being married.
married.
And so whoever was available, and at the time, I feel like it's not like I did a lot of choosing. It was whoever was available at the time who thought they're at the time where they need to be married that I married. Do you know what I'm saying? And in retrospect, I probably would not have done that. At 21, I barely know who I am.
Yeah.
At 21 is where I'm just now, oh, okay, I can do this without asking my mother for permission. It's when I'm now just trying to realize what I bring to the table.
The brain at that age is still so young. Apparently, there's a 50-50 chance of becoming a paranoid schizophrenic if you start consuming marijuana at an early age.
I just learned something today.
I learned something new. This was last week I learned this.
Guy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. It's good to know. It's good to know. For our audience, if you're listening, it's a good lesson to know.
So it goes back to your point where your brain is still so young at that age.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That it's still doing a lot of development and you don't want to mess that development up.
Okay.
With all kinds of, there's probably some things that have happened to me because I started drinking at an early age.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Really?
Yeah, we see those a lot in your life. But anyway, we move. We are not here to just embarrass you. But I feel like now, in terms of like romantic relationships, I mean, it's not like I have fully like learned it. It's not like I'm like, oh, now I'm a pro at this. No, there's lessons that you still learn as you grow. But at 21... there's nothing I knew at 21. Like, I had no business being married at 21.
Let me tell you, about romantic relationships, if I could go back and tell my younger self something, is to just focus on you.
Yeah.
Till, like, I'd say you're at least 30.
No, actually, that's true.
Honestly, if I was to think about it. Now, I'm sure there's some disadvantages to that if I think about it. Like, you don't have experience about how to
No, but what experience do you need? Like what you said, if you are going to focus on you, it's not like you're just sitting and waiting for time to go by.
Right.
You are living life and you are learning throughout the process. So I feel like you are absolutely right. I honestly, I have made some mistakes that I look back. There's people like, maybe they were interested in me and for maybe the right reasons, but just because I was still in my 20s, like my way of thinking was so shallow. You know, you're like, oh, sasa, oh, I don't want a man that looks like this. But anyway, it's not like my exes be looking nice. Let me just shut up. I be loving through the heart, okay? I love from the heart. But what I'm saying is just because of some little things. Maybe because somebody said, oh, I can't make it to your grandma's birthday. And you let them go.
Yeah.
You know, I'm saying this to say there's lessons that I have learned. Like sometimes it's okay. Yes, it's about me. But like have grace enough to be like, oh, you can't make it because da-da-da. Like, be gracious.
Yeah.
So I've learned that too.
I think I gave up a lot of myself in trying to please this person that I'm dating in my earlier ages.
Yeah.
As opposed to we are both coming at this and meeting in the middle. I felt like it was always me going out of my way
to meet them. Yes.
Way over
where
there.
They are.
You know what I mean?
They're not coming.
Yeah. High school, I dated in high school. That was just... Honestly, I think dating in high school for me was not bad. I would probably tell myself to date in high school and then to stop dating and not date in college.
Yeah.
Because the girl I was dating in high school was a very studious girl.
Okay.
And so what we would end up doing most of the time is study.
Oh, that's good. That was a good
and we would help each other in school a lot.
Right.
And we hadn't quite even gotten to where we had figured out how to be intimate.
Right. I mean, and also I feel like growing up, a lot of our relationships were, that's my boyfriend.
Yeah. Like, and the most intimate thing we would do, like we would get, fuzzy feeling if we held hands.
Let me tell you the worst thing that I have ever had. When I was in high school, we were going home and we had a brother's school that was close by. And so we happened to be like, some people were in the same matatu that we were in, and this girl was like showing somebody her bra strap. We were like, God, she is such a whore. Like, how would you show a boy your bra? And that's the worst. So all this to say, sex was not on the table. Exchanging saliva was far from it as well.
Yeah.
Like, imagine showing somebody your bra strap was like,
and that was like, oh my goodness.
Imagine. Yeah. And I'm not saying we were just all holy, but to me and a few of my friends that we hang out with, that was like, what? And again, like I said, I didn't date much. maybe this is
One other
I'm
thing
not the best at giving dating advice at this point.
that I can probably think of is probably give family more time and priority. I think when you grow up, when you're growing up, suddenly your family is just who you have to be with, you know, and then you start giving your friends more time and
Right.
things like that.
I actually feel opposite.
Opposite?
From you.
Yeah, and sometimes I feel like, okay, it was rightful probably to do that with family, but
Right.
I think my feelings of that are coming more from the fact that I'm a parent now.
Okay, that would make
And
sense.
I would not want my daughter
To lose
or
out
my child
from
in that
time-
matter
yeah, time from
to
you.
feel like they don't want to hang out with me
Right.
as much as like I really want to hang out with my child.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know they'll get to a point.
So we're
where-
talking nuclear family. We're not talking extended.
No. No. The other thing I would tell my younger self is hell with the extended family.
Yo, and that's why I'm saying I've had some experiences with family that
Yeah.
I've never experienced with friends, and me sticking around was because this is my family. I gotta stick through it, or I gotta just be present. Sometimes it's just killing you slowly. They're not. They care about themselves. So you are an extra, whatever you are.
Yeah.
So they can move around like a puzzle piece.
Yeah.
But you're just being present because we are related. But then I feel like me personally, I would tell yourself, I would tell my younger self, if you recognize these patterns, it's okay. Just because we're related, we don't have to be friends.
Yeah.
We share blood. Hey, that should be enough. Isn't that like blood is thicker than water? That should be enough.
I'm very fascinated by the people that are super, super wealthy, and not specifically people that just got wealthy in this generation.
Okay.
I'm very fascinated by generational wealth.
Yes, I know that fascinates me too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I have not experienced that.
Right.
And I know very few people personally that have experienced that.
Yeah.
For that to occur, there has to be such a tight-knit family unit.
Yeah.
It has to be a very tight-knit, close family, siblings, parents, that kind of
Yes.
thing, right?
You both have to have like the respect of this thing that we're trying to achieve. You have to have the same goal. I feel like
exactly.
I guess that's the
And
way
that
to
has
put
to,
it.
and that idea and that respect and that unity
needs
has
to be
to
carried on.
propagate from one generation to the
another,
next.
yeah.
So these really successful generational
Yeah.
enterprises that are 3, 4, 5 generations deep.
Yeah.
I'm very fascinated by the level of discipline and respect. Not that they don't have issues.
Oh yeah, for sure. But
know?
there's something they have that.
So
not
I would
everybody
probably take
does.
that feeling of fascination and take it back. My siblings and I are very close.
Yeah.
But all of us are doing our own thing.
Right.
We are all successful in what we're doing.
Yes.
However, I can just imagine all those brains if they were collectively doing one thing.
But again, I feel like also you need to approach it this way. Sometimes that is not everybody's calling.
It
you know?
isn't.
Like you followed your path because that's your calling. Probably your kid is gonna be like, yo, I'm not trying to be on the wire as well,
Yeah.
And they'll be like, I'd rather do this, and you'll be
True.
like, oh lordy, you know. But I guess there's a two way to look at it, right?
Yeah.
Either you can teach your kids to take over your businesses and that. I'm sure if you have like 2 or 3 kids, one of them will follow that path.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also feel like also just support them and like kind of teach them what you want is what we're going to go with.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of us growing up, and it's our generation, a lot of our parents wanted us to be doctors, lawyers, this big ass names. And some of us just wanted to be creatives. And some of us have made a ton of money from that than what a lawyer would make.
True.
Or what a doctor would make. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, in retrospect, I feel like I walked my path. If I were to speak career-wise. Did I purposely say this is my path and I'm walking it? No. I also feel like I was led. So I have a high school teacher whose name was Mr. Gidenji. I believe it's still Mr. Gidenji. Hopefully he hasn't changed it. I said was. And Mr. Gidenji was my teacher of English. And he enjoyed reading my papers. I told you I enjoyed writing, right? And like when I wrote creative writing, I was just, my imagination, it runs wild. I love that. But then he would read that and be like, you could do this for a living. And I'm like, and do what? Write papers, newspaper? Like, what do you assume I would be writing? For us in school, I don't know if they did this for you. After you read your set books, your Merchant of Venice and The River Between and them, we'd have a group come to your school and enact them. Just because a lot of people learned through different ways. Some people are more visual. Some people are more, if you read and write, So they would bring that aspect into school where they bring these people and they'd act the books out. So we had those people come in, and my teacher introduced me to one of them. And I was in Form 4 at this point. Mind you, in Kenya, when you're in Form 4, you're supposed to be reading. You're in your last year. Study. But me personally, I still found time to do poems and solo verses, which even took me to the national level at Form 4. Let me tell you, my teachers, they would hate. I was an example. When they came to the assembly, my teachers would be like, don't be like Ida. All she does is say poems. She thinks it's going to pay her bills. Like, I was shamed for doing this at that level of high school.
Yeah.
It was considered something you do when you're younger.
Yeah.
And then, you know.
Or in your free time.
In your free time.
Yeah.
So my teacher didn't see it that way. That teacher introduced me to these people. And after Form 4, I only stayed home for like a week. And then I started going to rehearsals with these people. And that's kind of how I joined acting. You know, he saw something and I started doing acting with them. Of course, the set books. And they were very familiar to me because that's what I had studied in school. You know, it was just the year before. So I did that for a while. And then I, found myself into professional theater and all that. When I went back to get my results, the headmaster called for an assembly. You see, Ida used to do poems even when she was in Form 4. Now we see her on TV. I was like, double standards.
Yeah. Once you're successful, they think they can take credit for it.
You know?
Yeah.
But in retrospect, I want to say I would totally fuel that fire. You know, I was good at something. He saw that, which I'm very, very grateful for. He saw that, and I would want to tell myself, like, it's okay, you're not making a mistake. Because I did feel like I was for a minute.
Yeah.
I went into school. I'm like, guys, what am I supposed to study? Everybody who was creative went and did journalism. So I thought, maybe I should do journalism because now I want to be like an anchor, a news anchor or a writer. But I didn't think that I could get into entertainment, be an actor, write scripts, and make a decent living, you know? So I probably would look back and just fuel that fire a little bit more and not feel ashamed that all I do is acting. Because even when I was in acting, and I don't know, my friends have had the same experience, parents would reach out to you and say, Sunny, my son, he finished Form 4. So you take him, you go play that little TV show you play until he gets something to do. They never saw it as a career.
Yeah.
It was always that little thing you guys do
until
you get a career, you know? But yeah, I would probably fuel that fire so much more than more than I did.
And to add on to that, it would probably be I would probably go back and tell my younger self not to compare myself to anybody else. You know, just because so-and-so is doing this or so-and-so is doing that.
That's a big lesson, man. I feel like we all went through it.
We all did. And sometimes you go against your gut. You go against what you really want to do or what you really feel only because, everybody's doing this or so-and-so is doing this.
You're like, hey, Kwani, I'm making a mistake.
Yeah. And even up to today, like I remember when I quit my job 2 years ago to become a full-time DJ.
Yeah.
Like you're constantly comparing yourself to like, and even like people would be like, your job, that nice job you have.
Yeah, I know. And by the time you quit your job, you're already at a very high level of management. So it's like, are you nuts?
Yeah. Like people there were people in my organization that would die to have the position I had.
Yeah.
And the flexibilities I had and everything that I had.
And now they're watching you, quote unquote, throw it all away.
Yeah, that's
to
the
be
whole,
a DJ.
Yeah.
You know.
So like I would tell my younger self to stop comparing myself to others. Also, I was a very lanky kid until I was in my upper 20s.
Yeah.
I remember, I don't know if I've said this on a podcast before, but I went to go buy a suit and I was told I had to go shop in the teen section.
Oh, because you're so small.
My shoulders were so lanky and I was very skinny until I started doing CrossFit at that time, and I did it every day and I gained some mass.
Yeah.
But I would see.
But look at us now trying to lose all the weight and be skinny again. Like, isn't life interesting? Like you're skinny all your life, then you gain weight. You're like, I want that body back.
Yeah, but I spent so much time looking at my peers when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
Who would be good in sports and be athletic.
Yeah.
And I spent so much time wanting to be like them. Instead of just embracing myself. And if I could tell myself that, hey, at some point in life, you're going to do CrossFit, you're going to do this, you're going to get fit. Right now,
this is where we are.
Don't compare yourself to anyone. You know.
I know what you're saying. That's interesting. I think you probably would change the comparison to admiration. Yeah, I admire what you're doing, but I'm not doing that.
Yep.
You know, that is so interesting.
Would you change the way you dress?
I don't know. Change the way I dress. I feel like I'm very comfortable with my style. Like you know me. I really don't care what somebody
Do you
thinks.
think
If I'm
your
comfortable,
style
I'm comfortable.
has changed over time?
My style has definitely changed over time. Let me give you an example. Sunny, there's places I would not go without my eyebrows done, without that hair laid, without that little mini skirt, like the club. Why am I going like looking bummy? But I found myself now going to the club. I'll wear sweatpants. I'll wear flat shoes. I will be comfortable. Like comfort will come first before anything else. You know, back in the day, you'll be like, I want to walk in, and like I still want to walk. I mean, I still.
Yeah, I know women who won't walk into a club unless they're wearing heels.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That I think that's what I'm going for.
Yeah.
I mean, I still walk in and people will look. I mean, it is what it is. Your presence, sometimes it's not what you look like. I know I can walk in and take over a room in less than 5 minutes because of who I am, not because of what I'm wearing. And once I understood that, I was like, damn, I really don't have to be like
So as a
heels
man,
on them.
now that you mentioned that, as a man, I have like, I'm very curious. You know, men, when we go to the club, we wear shoes
Right.
that are either sneakers or
Dress
dress
shoes,
shoes
yeah.
or like boots
Yeah.
or loafers or whatever, right? They're all flat shoes.
Right.
Women will either wear heels
Yeah.
or flats, right? I guess if they're
Well,
sneakers,
at
they're
my
flats.
age, sneakers, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. But
Yeah.
they're either heels. Like, do you actually feel the difference between heels and flat shoes? Like,
You actually do. So let me tell you one thing that. they
and
would-
when you do, don't you just want to wear sneakers all the time? Because sometimes these women, man, you all
No,
go
don't-
through like you all go through a lot just to walk on your
Screwy.
tippy toes
I
through a
don't-
club.
Yeah, yo, let me tell you. Sometimes it'd be like that sometimes, but I want to say sometimes when you're dressed like that, you do feel like, you know, we don't look like that every day. You know, you don't just wear your heels every day walking around your house doing chores. So when you do wear your heels, like your posture is more upright. Like you feel like you're standing taller than you usually would. And I feel like that also gives you some sort of confidence.
How
if
does
you
it
didn't have
feel
it,
walking on your tippy toes, though?
yo, it's painful as hell. I don't know who invented heels and why, but God, it's painful.
I also heard.
It's not.
I
Let
think
me,
was it
whoever will ever say, even under these comments, that heels are comfortable, you are lying, and you know you are lying through your teeth.
I also heard somewhere that heels make your diab stand like stick out.
Yeah. So if I'm standing like this, my feet are now just flat, right? But if you wear heels, they pop. Like they pop your back, so
for
your
those
butt.
not speaking Swahili, diabs is
Jebs is ass. Yeah, so they will pop your butt a little bit, so you do look, you know, your butt does
Perked up
look like,
from the-
you know, like
yeah.
you got booty even when you don't. But hey, that's another thing.
what?
Like
Having booty
body
when you don't.
comparison.
Oh.
No, yeah, I just need to say it's like having booty when you don't. You don't got booty if you don't got booty. But what I'm saying is comparison in terms of like how you look as a woman. Like when you said when you were growing up, we do that a lot. Like me, is this TMI? It's too late at this
Time to
point.
get vulnerable.
I know, no, like me personally, like my boobs didn't come in until I was like in form 2 or 3. People had boobs when they were in class 5, 6. You know, like people would like, you probably don't know, but I should probably look away, not look at you when I tell you this story. But yeah, like I that was an insecurity of mine.
Not having boobs?
Yeah, and all my peers were wearing boob tops, and then they graduated from a place of boob tops, and they were wearing like the young girl bras, and I was like, so I don't buy these things because me, I didn't have boobs at all. And then I went to high school somewhere before I changed schools to go to Kiandari, which is where in Moranga. They had sent me to a school in North Kinangop. It's like they wanted me to die. Anyway, it was cold. Sunny, it was cold as hell. Y'all think Kenya doesn't snow? You haven't lived over there when it's cold. I mean, it was cold. It would snow. To some extent, it would. Like, it was bad. So I felt like every time I came home for holiday, I would start seeing some boob. But when I went back to school, it would disappear. The cold would suck it. So I didn't have, not literally suck it, but like, I swear, my mother is a witness. I would complain, like, I had boobs going into school. Where'd they go? So it was funny. I mean, I know, looking at me now, you probably don't believe this story, but that was something that I lived with for like a few years. Because like Form 2, people already have ginormous teeth at that point. Mine are just now peaking.
Man, I had a beard at Form 1.
See, I'm sure there are people who looked at you and were like, I want a beard. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There are people who felt less than because they didn't have a beard.
True.
So, retrospect, I'll be like, girl, wait, them things are gonna show up and they're gonna be heavy. Now we're wearing bras. Like, you can't walk around with a bra, you know? So just chill. Like, I would be more patient with myself and my development. That's one lesson I probably would
Be patient with your development,
Yeah.
ladies.
Be very patient.
Yeah.
Even I see younger kids now at 20, 22, 21 doing BBLs, getting BBLs and getting their boobs done. And I'm like, girl, you know, your body has not fully formed.
Like the brain is not fully formed. At
Exactly.
20
Your
something.
brain hasn't. So what makes you imagine that your body has? Like at 25, that's when you're like, oh, I was supposed to be curvaceous. Like, you know,
Yeah.
oh, that booty was supposed to come in, you know. And this
At 25, I was being told to go shop for suits in the kids section. See?
You see, we all have problems. We really all have problems. Man. Damn, but like, you know, imagine, would you ever imagine how you felt at that point when somebody told you, go to the kids section to look for, like it hurts your heart.
Yeah.
It's like you, at that point, this is who you are. You don't know if it gets better or it gets worse.
Yeah. And you know, that's the thing. The thing that I would probably go back and tell my younger self is that you evolve, you grow. Nothing is permanent. This feeling you're feeling right now, this insecurity you're feeling, or this shame you're feeling, whatever it is not permanent.
It's not.
I saw this thing yesterday that had the picture of the world.
Okay.
Like a satellite image of the globe. And there were many slides. And it said how the world looks when you're feeling insecure.
Okay.
How the world looks when you're feeling this. How the world looks when you're feeling down. How the world looks when you're feeling unaccomplished. And the world looks the same.
I see, yes.
Like the picture of the world is exactly that.
Yeah.
Right? So basically, all these things you're feeling that you think is affecting the mega
or your
universe.
world.
Yeah. You know, out there, things are just going on as normal.
That's true. I probably would also add to that and say things always get better.
Yeah.
You know, like when you're thinking, you're feeling depressed, you're like, this is my world now.
Or worse.
Or worse. No, but
Depends on
usually
your choices.
better. Oh, yeah, depends a lot on your choices.
Yep.
But I, if I were to speak to myself, there's things that I thought would destroy me. There's places I have been in life, and I looked back and I said, God, I don't know how I can come out. Like, have you ever been in something? You're like, I really can't see a way forward.
Yeah.
But those things, I look back and I'm like, I cannot believe I was overwhelmed by this feeling this much.
Think
And
about it
gets
from
better.
this. Think about it from this perspective. My daughter is 18 months.
Yeah.
So if she wants this phone and she can't get it, her world has ended.
Yeah. Oh, I want the phone. That's all I want
that's
right
like
now.
that's all I want,
Yeah.
and my world has ended.
Right.
And so at her stage, she cannot see past that.
Yes.
Whereas
Yes.
in the bigger picture, you're like, 5 minutes from now,
We're going to move on.
you're gonna move on.
Yeah.
You see
And you
what I'm
did
saying?
tell me something also. Let me just give you your flowers, because the flowers you give me, they are not real flowers. But I remember after we had met and we had created a friendship, I was going through something, and you said, I don't know how long I'd already been in the country. And you compared that time and you're like, see how far you are. And you literally like gave me examples. You are doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this. And I felt like at the time my world was over.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was looking forward like, so what is life? Like,
Yeah,
what
what
do I have to live for? Because
Yeah.
like, I don't know, Sunny, I'm stuck. And he sat down and he said, you've been here X amount of time. This is what you've done. This is what you've done. People have not done that yet. Some
Yeah.
people have been here 20 years. You're already living better than them. And then you told me, ask yourself if these problems are going to be the same 5 years from now. And at the time, I thought you were saying this because your life in my eyes looked better than my situation. But it's true. I look back in retrospect. I'm like, guy, I was so worried about these things. Now I have them. I don't even use them, or these experiences. Now I have, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And all this to say, my biggest lesson and what I would tell younger me, it gets better. Allow yourself to just live. It gets better. As long as your heart is pure, and your choices will matter a lot.
Yeah.
You just try and make good choices. It does get better. If you're feeling some type of way, if you're feeling stuck, it gets better.
The other thing I think I remember telling you is
Yeah.
also look at where you were 5 years ago.
Yes, you did.
And
say
look at
that.
where you are now. Now think about 5 years ago, think about the things you wanted to achieve.
Right.
And then ask yourself, have you achieved those things today?
Yeah.
And and most of the time you've probably done better than that.
That's
if
true.
if you've really been working towards things and moving to in a positive direction.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I think you're right about that.
Yeah.
The other thing is anything you do in your younger days, my friend, will catch up to you.
Yo, that's actually true. That's a painful reality.
That is a painful
Damn,
reality.
yeah.
Have you seen people that are in their 20s that look like they're in their 50s
Yeah, I know.
because of shooting up heroin and all
Yes,
this, or
that-
meth heads, Kwanzaa.
Oh my God. You are so right. Everything you do will catch up with you. So try and live a good life. Everything you said, everything will catch up with you. Republican lawmakers are sharing their outrage at the possibility of Trump being indicted. Indicted.
Yeah.
Indicted. So Trump is about to be arrested. After all these years of all the shit he'd been doing, it's time. It really does catch up with you.
Yeah, and sometimes you can think you can just treat people a certain way. You can just be a certain way. And you know what?
It
catches up.
You know what? It's karma. I mean, right? They say karma, it comes back. Whether good or bad, it just, that baby don't miss. Karma don't miss.
And karma does things in a very interesting way. So if you haven't already subscribed or followed Sunday Wind Down Podcast, please do so.
Go ahead and do so.
And if you haven't told your friends about us, please go ahead and do so.
Go ahead and do so.
And if you already haven't followed me on all my platforms,
imagine, go ahead and do so.
Do so at
the name is Sistuki, Sistuki,
and
all social media platforms.
Ida.
Imagine. And mine
Make sure
is
you go follow her.
_Alicia, all social media platforms. We love to interact with you guys. If you are not subscribed, like Sunny said, go ahead and subscribe. We love to see it.
Yep, and put your comments down in the comment section. We'd love to hear your feedback on everything we're talking about. Till next week, see you later.
Bye.
Sunday wind down, baby.